Hello fellow modelers and styling fanatics, welcome back to my channel. I hope that everyone is doing fine and enjoys the hobby. Concrete Bunker is back again today with another one of its notorious episodes. So, on today's episode, me and Past George, we both continue our work together in our Land Rover 109 LWB from Italeri in 1 to 35th scale and kit number 6508. God damn, for the first time I remember the kit number. Okay, in this episode Past George mainly worked on the panels of our Land Rover. He created a small trick in order to separate the panels from the chassis because we need to paint it separately. That's what I believe it's gonna be easier for us in the future, and I hope that it works. It looks a little bit wonky at the time being, but believe me guys, this plan is going to come into fruition in the near future. Not in this episode, in another episode, but stick with me and you will see. Anyway, things processed nicely. I reckon that we will need to do some adjustments at the future, but this will have to wait, as I've said, and I have nothing else to further notice. Now, you all know the drill. Grab yourselves a seat, make yourselves comfortable, and crack the mandatory cold one or a hot brew, depending where you are and what time it is right now. And let's see what me and Past George have in stock for you guys in this episode. Hi guys, it is time for me to welcome you to part 2, what it looks to be part 2 of our Land Rover build. Before I start gluing parts together, I thought that it was a good idea to lay out my plan. As most of you know, I really like to have my models in sub-assemblies because it helps me to paint and weather them whenever I weather them. If I take, the step of weathering seriously. Anyway, this is my intention with this one as well. Well, this not 100% of not 100% my intention, but as best as I can. Normally I would break this one in sub-assemblies as well, which is the chassis that we have done nothing since the previous episode, but I told myself that I won't go overboard this time. What I wanna do, let me grab the instructions and I'll explain you. So let's move this aside and start exactly where we left off. In the previous episode we just completed step number 4, so we move towards step number 5. So upon step number 5 you can clearly see that we will start to glue body panels onto the chassis. Now that's something that troubles me because I wanna paint the chassis a different color, to be honest with you guys, which means that if I glue the body panels on top of it, this won't be easy for me this won't be an easy task for me to do while I am airbrushing. So first of all, we have this one. Let's talk about this one, which is the correct positioning of the windshield. This will be done last, mainly because I will use the canvas cover to line up the windshield. I don't want any any bad surprises, if you get what I mean. So clear parts, and this and the windshield frame will be waiting until the very end. So Wheels as well will be waiting until the very end. I will of course assemble them, but I won't attach them to the chassis. And the main thing of my plan right now is the body panels. What I'm gonna do with them, what's my intention? I am going to attach them, not glue them, attach them onto our chassis, so, and then glue each body panel to glue only the body panels together. I'm not gonna glue them to the chassis. I'm gonna glue, this one to this one and this one to that one, and while they are attached to the chassis, so I can have a car body as square as I can, as square as intended, and so it can be removable, so it can help me while I paint and weather the whole thing. So that's my planning for the time being. Hopefully it will work. So I think that I have done all the necessary preparation, and the key word here is that I think that I have done them. I am not sure. Anyway, let's start from the easy parts first. 3 wheels over here. I will assemble the 4th in front of you. Not that it is something difficult, just for you to have an idea. Anyway, so let's start from that. So as you can see, that's the back of the wheel. Let me zoom in a little bit. It may help. Let me help the camera. So that's the back side of the wheel. That's the front side. Onto the back side, on the inner side, there is a hole located, which will have to meet with this pin. This will help us to line up the thread detail on our tires, if you know what I mean. So there is nothing else for me to explain, just a simple glue application and align the wheel, the two halves of the wheel together. Yeah, the positioning is still a little bit iffy. We are talking about Italeri here, not a high-end, guys, model company, but still good. I love Italeri, to be honest with you guys, mainly because it has many obscure projects that many other companies don't have them, and it is nice for me to see something different, something else than the usual Sherman, Panzer, Panther, Tiger, etc., etc. I also like Italeri because she's relatively cheap and her kits are solid, and they also teach you the basic modeling stuff, sanding, filling, etc., etc. So enough of me praising that company. I believe that many of you are cursing me right now. That's the wheel assembly. Of course, I am going to wait for the extra thing to dry and sand the seam line in between. And now I will leave this aside and let's move on to the meat and potatoes of this episode. So we have this. We are grabbing our chassis and the three first panels that are gonna go on top of it. So we have the firewall, which has a square indentation here that needs to be placed over here. So let's do that. I am going to place it, and in order to hold it in place, I am going to use some blue tack. For you guys that don't have blue tack in your disposal, better go grab one. It is relatively cheap and you can reuse it as many times as you want. It is quite useful to hold parts. So well, this one is as best as we can get it to place right now without using glue. Now we have to grab this one, which is part of the front fenders and the front grille, or the face, the general face of the car. So here is how it clicks together. Okay, and now let me apply some glue. Because we are going to fit these parts together, and then we are going to fit this sub-assembly to our chassis. Now if you flip this thing, you can see the two location pins that they have to go here as expected. Let's try that. And yes, I know there are some small gaps, mainly over here, but all the fiddling that I have done off camera and test fitting, etc., didn't do anything to fix that problem. If that's a problem, I don't know. Anyway, time for glue application. I am going to apply glue over here at the top only, both sides of the fenders. I'm gonna press it just a little bit. Yep, just to help the glue grab more. Grab, quote unquote, more. And give me a moment, guys. Sorry, I had to let one of my cats outside for her night stroll. You cat owners know what I mean. And now we will leave this over there. We will leave this to cure, and then we are going to remove it. And when the glue cures, we're gonna remove it and glue the other points that we couldn't glue. You know, glue it fully in place. If that made sense. Okay. Okay, I think that we are good to go. So let's grab the instructions and let's mark our progress. We have assembled our road wheels. We have also attached the firewall, this thing, part of the front fenders and the grille, and we will leave our road wheels and their hubs, as you can see, up until the very end. And we also have to be careful of those color callouts for the indicators of the vehicle. And now we will move on to step number 6. So on step number 6 we have the dashboard. Okay, I am going to, of course, and I am going to leave it aside until the very end. Once again, we have the steering wheel and the steering column. I am going to join those two together and leave it in another separate sub-assembly. And we have all these detail parts like the shifter, the gear shifting mechanisms, and the pedals, the operating pedals, that we are going to attach in a while. Time for us to move onwards to step number 6, and as you can see, I have removed the front panels of the half front of of the Land Rover, mainly because I am going to apply some glue in some spots in order to glue some levels, like the shifter knobs, etc., etc. And I don't want to risk to glue this onto the rest of the chassis. That's why I removed it. So let's start gluing parts together. Over here we have our dashboard. I am going to do a mini rant about dashboards. And then I'm gonna get it out of the way, because I'm not gonna use it. I am going to keep it as it is, as a separate piece, until the very end, mainly because I will need to detail paint it. Dashboards are the things that I go crazy for no reason, I don't know. So let's start about my mini rant. In this kit, just like the previous one, the BJ202, Italeri and previously Trumpeter did not provide me with decals for gauges. Come on guys, it is really simple to slap two decals for gauges, one tachometer and one rev meter. You know, it is really simple. It adds a little bit more interest, and it makes the build even more engaging. I don't know why companies do not add this. Now you're gonna tell me it is in 1 to 35th scale, it is in an interior component, then probably no one will be able to see. And yes, I am going to tell you that you are right, but my OCD doesn't let me alone with stuff like that. I just want to see some gauges on dashboards, okay, even if they are in 1 to 35th scale. So that was my rant, and to sum it all up, please companies, add some decals for gauges if you haven't added at your kits already. It is simple, easy, and more satisfying, and nobody's gonna rant about it like I am doing right now. So that's everything that I had to say. Here is our dashboard, and now it's gonna disappear. We're gonna leave it aside. The only thing that I am going to glue is the steering wheel to the steering column, in which I need my tweezers, my special tweezers, my favorite ones, the self-locking ones. So I'm gonna hold it like this. You see this pin? This one is gonna point downwards towards the floor of the vehicle, and there is a good reason for that which I'm not gonna explain right now. You're gonna see whenever I assemble the whole thing after the painting stage. So stick until then if you wanna learn why. Come on, do me the favor. Yep. And now this is gonna wait aside until the very end, until I paint it, and onwards to the detailed parts of the interior. So with which we are going to start. Let's start with the easy one first, and here we have the curved one, When I say the curved, I mean this one. This one must be the normal shifter knob, you know, the one that has the gears inscribed on it. And this probably goes over here, if I am reading the instructions properly, which I wanna believe that I do. Make sure that the thing is straight, yeah, as straight as it can be. Apply some extra glue for good measure. And let's move towards our next level. We have that weird little fella over here that I have no clue. Probably Gav can enlighten me, because Gav was a Land Rover drive owner. So please Gav, if you hear this, please enlighten me. I think that this is the level for the 4-wheel drive, you know, 4-wheel low and high. And we have another level, which is this one. This one will be placed over here, exactly where the end of my tweezers are. There is a square indentation. And it will go like so. Now this level I totally have no clue for what it is, to be honest. And then we have the fire extinguisher. Fire extinguisher needs to be placed on our separate part over here. And it will be placed like so, kinda, not exactly, like so. And with that done, with all those done, we kinda, quote unquote, completed step number 6. Let me bring the instructions in front of the camera. And let's show you guys what we have done. So let's erase. Done, 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 and done. And those two are done. What I haven't done, and this will be wait until the very end, is the positioning of the dashboard, and of course attachment of the steering wheel together with the steering column. Of course I haven't added, I haven't added the pedals, clutch, brake and gas pedal, and that's the only stuff that I haven't done from step number 6. And we are going to move forward to step number 7. Blurry, okay, give me a moment. So step number 7 is a step that we are gonna skip completely, mainly because I'm gonna paint the seats separately, and I'm not gonna attach the handbrake because I'm gonna knock it off a lot of times, and I am sure about that. So we are going to move onwards, to step number 8. Now immediately and we are gonna skip this because this is the clear part, and as you know we need to paint the vehicle first, and then we need to decide if we are gonna make the Rover as the B version. The B version is the NATO version and not the ambulance. If you are opting to do the NATO version, you need to drill a hole onto the fender, the left fender, as you look the vehicle from the rear, and you need to insert that insignia, I am gonna call it for the time being. Now, yeah, I believe that I am going to do the NATO version, not for any specific reason, just because, and I will drill that hole. Another thing that I'll have to think about is how I am going to mount those fenders. All ready for step number 8, and let's start. So I have, as you can already tell, I have drilled the left fender of the vehicle, and I intended to model it as the NATO version 1. So in order to do that, I will need to glue the insignia. Well, it's not an insignia. If you look at it closely, it looks like some kind of indicator, some kind of light. Let me give you a closer look. You see what I mean? It has that weird texture of a headlight or something. Anyway, let's make sure that this thing is fitted properly. Yeah, looks like it is. And here is how my plan is going to proceed. I am going to glue it on this sub-assembly of our vehicle, on the half front, and I'm not going to attach it to the chassis yet. So this part will need to fall over here, like so. Most of you guys can already see some gaps, but I maybe need to worry about them later. I'll see what I can do. And over here. Okay, looks good to me. Let's move on to the other side, include the other fender, and let me explain you. So the inner side of the fender, apart a bunch of injector mold marks, has these two ridges that stop over here. So those are our position thingies. Come on, no. Too much coffee today. My hands are a bit shaky, but anyway. It is what it is. What is done now. And I am talking about coffee. Ooh, lucky. I am kinda lucky. Almost left a fingerprint. Almost okay. Yeah, I will need to smooth it down there. So this one is in place. Let's see if how this fits. Oh, lovely. Okay, now let's remove it and let's continue. We will leave it aside for a bit and we will continue our work with the passenger or the driver side door, sorry. Passenger for me, driver for English guys. So glue over there and there, I think, yeah. Come on. Some fine tuning. There we have it, guys. So now we need to glue the door over here like so. Ooh, ooh, that's a nasty gap. Ooh, damn, that's a nasty gap. Okay, I will be able to close it later, and I know how to do it. Now let's pop it over here and see what's happening. Ooh, damn. Okay, let's line up the door a little bit better. Yeah, this is what it needs. This is where it needs to be positioned. Sorry guys if I was out of frame. Looks like I was. I don't know yet. I'm gonna see while I edit. Okay, I can fix that gap, but I will need to leave the rest of it to dry. So upon step 8, upon the completion of step 8, oh my gosh, this is what we are supposed to be looking. Oh, I need a lot of fine tuning over here. Okay. And I mean a lot of fine tuning and fiddling. This will cause us some issues in the future. Oh, anyway, we're gonna see. I will leave it to dry as it is. I'm not gonna touch it any further because I am kinda messing with it right now, and let's hope that my plan comes to fruition in the but we're gonna have to wait until the very end, until we see it come to fruition. So let's grab the instructions and let's erase some stuff. Yeah, I wish. Done. Come on, done. done and done. So what's left over here from step number 8 is the application of the clear part of the side window, and we move forward to step number 9, of course. Oh, okay, and we start working on the track bed. Okay guys, step number 8, and we are gonna do the same trick as we have done with the front of the vehicle, mainly because, as I've said, we will need to paint the body panels of the car separately from the chassis. So I am going to apply some blue tack over here to hold the part in place while I line up the track bed. While I attempt to line up the track bed, should I say. Let's remove this. And make sure that this is positioned on the right place. As you can see there, the part has two location points. One is over here, exactly where the end of my tweezers are, this little square, and the other little square which need to hug the chassis in order to be positioned properly. And here is how it looks. So the stepped edge, the curved edge needs to go towards the interior, and these need to go on top of those indentations over there. So this part will need to fall in place. Sorry, this part will need to fall in place like so, like that. Okay, I'm not gonna use extra thin, mainly because it will seep in nooks and crevices, and it will get to points that I don't want it to get. I will use contact over here. So here goes nothing. Let's hope for the best. Yep. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, looks straight as possible. And this is what you are supposed to be looking upon step number 9 completion. Upon completion of step number 9. So let's move this aside. Let's erase. Done and done, which indicates step number 9 as done. Finally, I completed the step. I fully completed the step, and we move on towards step number 10. Ooh, this is a busy one. So immediately we are going to erase this one, because, as I've said, it is the clear part. This one is a clear part as well, and this one is a clear part as well. So for ambulance version, we need to remove this, which is the license plate holder, of course, and I am going to leave this on because I'm not going to model the ambulance version. So we need to assemble the door, the passenger side door, we also need to attach the hood and the front bumper onto the vehicle. Of course, and I am not going to assemble the spare tire on camera, mainly because it is the same as the rest of the four wheels that I have shown you in the beginning of this episode. Yeah, let me clean the parts and I am going to be back. Time for step number 10, guys, and before I start I am going to point a mistake on the instructions. Instructions state that this part is 32D, which is not, apparently. It is part 71D. So here I have already taken notes on my instructions, so don't be confused, guys. This is 71D. So we're gonna start first. Let's attach the hood. So the hood has two pins and its two location points are over here, one and the other one. Simple as that. You drop it in place, and now we will secure it with some extra thing. Okay. And that's our hood in position. Next up, we will attach the window frame onto our passenger side door and let it cure for a bit. Okay, let it decide to cure. Let's pop this. No, we won't pop this off yet. And we move onwards with the front bumper. So the front bumper has two square indentations over here and here. Those will need to go over here at the ends of the chassis. I will need to pull the needle out of that glue later. Okay, let's pop this on again. Make sure that the front bumper is square. Yep, I think that it is. Yeah, it looks in position, promising enough. Let's pop this off again. Okay. And now let's attach the passenger side door. Take care of that. Things are looking better from the passenger side. So is in place. Okay, lovely. And that marks the completion of step number 10. Look at this, guys. We have half, 1/4 of a Land Rover in front of us. So let's leave this aside, let's grab the instructions. Clearly I have forgotten to place part 84A. Oh my god, I was rushing through, so I will note that for later. So what have we done? Taking care of the passenger side door, then the spare wheel of camera, taking care of the hood and of the front bumper. Let's see. Okay, what's left is the track bed and the canvas cover. So guys, I have just checked my footage and I think that I have enough for this episode, and I reckon that it is time for me to wrap this thing up. And with all that said and done, we have made it to the end of this episode as suspected. On our next episode, we will continue our work with the track bed of our Land Rover, and maybe some extra work on the canvas cover or painting. I don't know yet. Time will tell. I hope that you guys found this video helpful and interesting, and stick along for the next one, of course. Before I go, I want to thank each and every one of you guys that watched this video. A special thank you to all my subscribers, old and new ones. You guys are the best, and you are the reason I keep doing these videos. Now, for the newcomers out there that encounter one of my videos for the first time, welcome guys. I hope that you like what I do. If so, you all know what to do. Leave a like, comment with your thoughts and opinions, share the video if you believe it deserves to be shared, or even consider subscribing for more builds to come your way. Until the next time, fellow modelers and friends, take care and model on. It was that Mofo Damon, signing out.